Hi guys, and welcome back to Momma Jess Knits. Today is January the 5th, and this is episode 11. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you watch my podcast on a regular basis, welcome back. Hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's. We stayed home. I don't like to get out on the road on holidays just because it's usually so busy and crazy, and I'd rather just stay in. So we stayed in and we had appetizers and finger foods for dinner, and actually me and several of my kids were in bed before midnight anyway. So I am Jess, and you can find me on Instagram as Momma Jess Knits, on Revelry as JStrack. I also have a Revelry group that is under Momma Jess Knits podcast. I have a Facebook group for those who aren't on Revelry under Momma Jess Knits. Or you can email me if you need to get a hold of me at mommajessknits@gmail.com. Oh, well, it is a Sunday morning and I am babysitting today, and they are sleeping. So I'm hoping I can get this podcast done before they wake up. So I'm just going to kind of jump right in because I have a lot of stuff for you guys today. So I only have 2 finished objects, and they are dishcloths. So this is the first one, and this is the Grandma's Favorite by PJ Allen, and this is the Peaches and Cream yarn, or Sugar and Cream. I can never remember what it's called. I think it's the same company. It's just like, I think one of them's scented and maybe the other's not. I don't know. And I'm trying to remember the name of this. It was something like Sea Ombre or something like that. But it's got really pretty blues and peaches. It's really pretty. My oldest daughter was knitting with this and sent me a picture, and I love the color of the yarn so much that I decided that I needed to go get some. So I was happy that our Michaels had some of it. And then I finished this washcloth, which I absolutely cannot remember the name of, but it's the same pattern and the same kind of yarn, the Sugar and Cream or Peaches and Cream. Oh, I wanted to warn you guys too, if you hear any loud banging or maybe whining or barking, it's because I have gated Bear out of this room because he gets into trouble when he comes in here. And so he might whine, he might try to jump the gate, or he might just jump against it and it'll bang, or he might start barking, because there is a cat in here with me, so he loves to bark at them. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Still working on my coffee. I got this little mug from Cracker Barrel, which is fairly close to our house. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned that I'm in Virginia. I don't think I've ever said where I'm podcasting from. And that dawned on me earlier when I was watching a podcast. I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever mentioned where I'm from. Alright, I'm just going to jump right into it. In my Ginger Snap That bag, I meant to put this on a blocker, and I forgot to grab them. I did some reorganizing, and so I have them actually in a bin now and not just out where I can see them, so I kind of forgot. But I do have a hoe. This little sock. It is for one of my daughter's birthdays, which is Monday. They won't be finished by Monday, I don't think. So that is all my finished and half-finished objects. I did manage to get her other sock cast on and some rows done on it. So I think I've only got about 15 rows done on it, though. And this time around I did like a little bit of a longer cuff, so I ended up doing 50 rows. So I don't think it'll be finished, but at least I can show it to her and she knows it's coming. The yarn is Knit Picks Stroll. I believe the hand paint in the frog prints. Yeah, Knit Picks Stroll hand paint frog prints. So I worked pretty much all day yesterday on getting that one sock finished so that I could cast on that second sock. Don't know where to put stuff once I'm done with it. I also, in my Ginger Snap That bag, have another sock that I've been working on, although I've put it on pause so that I could work on another one. This one's for a friend of mine. And it is done in the Knit Picks Stroll Tweed. Which, guys, this yarn is so soft. I actually made myself a pair of socks out of the same yarn. And put it in my box of socks last year. It's so weird saying last year, and it's just 5 days ago. But I have not worn them yet, so I'm anxious to wear them and see how they wear up. I also... This is also in my accusation, what I've bought here lately. And this is Hobby Lobby brand. I love that cotton. My mom had told me that it's silkier feeling than the Peaches and Cream, and oh my goodness, she was so right. This is so soft. It feels almost like I'm knitting with silk, but it's actually 100% cotton. And I've just got the start of another dishcloth. Hold on. Excuse me, guys. Anyway, so start another PJ Allen, Grandma's favorite. I just still cannot get over how smooth that yarn is. And I have, the name of that yarn is Fruit Salad, which I thought was kind of funny. I love it though. Alright, another project that I have on my needles. I have a little bit of cast-on-itis. I keep casting stuff on before I can get stuff off my needles. But I am making my 10-year-old a hat, and I'm going to make her baby doll that she got for Christmas a matching hat. And I'm doing it in, Malabrigo Shocking Pink. And this is Malabrigo Worsted. So she cannot put this in the wash machine or dryer. It's going to have to be hand washed, but that's okay. And I am doing the Barley hat. Ooh, sorry guys. By Tincanknits. There we go. And this is the yarn that has like pinks and like orangey corals. But her and her doll will have matching hats. And I can't remember if I said that this is the Barley hat by Tincanknits. But I worked on that a good bit here and there. When my hands need a break from sock yarn, I'll pick it up and do a little bit more on it. And then I have another hat that I'm working on. I haven't actually worked on this in several days. But I am doing a Jason's Cashmere hat by Melissa Thomson. And I haven't gotten hardly very much more done than from the last time you saw it. And this brim has to be 4 inches long because you're going to fold it over. And I'm doing that in the Malabrigo Rios Winter Lake. And that will match her cardigan that I just finished for her. And I think she's going to like it. And then we've got some other yarn picked out to make some more hats and some hats for a friend of hers whose birthday was in December. We'll get around to it. she's actually never knit a hat. She's wanted to learn how, so I'm going to teach her how to knit a hat, so that she can work on one of the ones, because she wants to give her friend 2 different hats. He's requested one in one color, and the other, she just wants to give him one in another color so that he can wear them more often. She gave him a hat a few months ago, and no, they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. They've just been really good friends. Or as she says, he is her best guy friend. And they've been friends since they were 4. So preschool. Yeah. So I think it's super sweet that they're still friends and hang out, and it's great. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is my test knit that I'm doing. And I'm not super far on it. There's one row that has a new to me stitch on it, and I really don't like it. So I'm kind of keep putting this off. But it's the In Stillness cardigan, and the pattern is not out yet, because like I said, I'm test knitting it, by Alicia Plummer. I'm not going to pull this all the way out because I'll show you. This is in a bag made by me. It has, I've got 2 skeins of yarn down in there because I am actually alternating my skeins. Because anytime you do a hand-dyed, hand-painted, kettle-dyed, which is what Malabrigo is, yarns, you want to alternate skeins. That way you don't have huge blotches or pooling of certain colors in that yarn. And like for instance, this, see how it's a little bit lighter? You don't want huge blobs of that everywhere. But anyway, so here is the start of my cardigan. And so I just right now have a couple inches in the back and the sleeves, and then this will be the front. And the front's going to match this pattern on the back. But so far, I mean, I really do like it. There's a Make One Purl that I've never done before, or if I have done before, I forgot it because I had to look up the stitch online. And I'm just really not digging it. It's really hard for me to do for some reason. I will tell you guys that I highly recommend, if you don't know a stitch, or you want to learn to knit, or you want to learn to crochet, I highly recommend going to YouTube. And I like to follow videos by Very Pink Knits. She does a really good job of describing what you need to do. You can pause it, you can rewind it. YouTube is such a blessing. I know lots of people who learn how to knit or crochet from YouTube. I cannot read crochet patterns, but if I get on YouTube and watch a video on how to do something, I can knock it out. And actually I've made several scarves that way, cowls, blankets, but that's the only way I can do it, is YouTube. And I'm going to show you this. I haven't worked on this for a while. Today was actually the first day I've dug it out in a while. But it is a Cozy Memories blanket. And I've got a pretty good chunk of it done. This part's super, super long. I'm trying to remember who I think I am following. I've got a project page on my Revelry profile on whose pattern I'm following. I'm sorry I didn't write it down. I made all my show notes last night, but I think it's I want to say her first name's Georgie, but I'm not sure. But so each square is just a miter square, and I'm using sock yarn, on mine. There's like DK weight, worsted. I think there might be a worsted weight pattern. I'm doing a worsted weight one, but it only has 2 squares on it. And what I did for this one is some of this yarn is yarn that I've knit with, like this and this, and this. And then some of it is yarn that people in my knitting group knit with. Like this is from my, the lady who taught me how to knit, who has passed away. And this is from a good friend that moved. And this is from another friend that also moved. So this blanket is super special to me, and it has lots of memories. I can go through and I can tell you like who knit what. And then people have sent me mini skeins, and I've added those in my blanket. Like this is from a mini skein that somebody sent me. So yeah, I'm nowhere near done on this, but it is fun, and it's something I need to get back to doing. Once I finish this will of course be mine, just because it holds so many memories, from my knitting group and the ladies in it. And that is all that I have to show you for my works in progress. So I am going to move along to what I want to knit. I still have Natalie's socks on needles, her Christmas socks. So I need to finish those. I'm planning on doing dishcloths, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. I am still planning on doing charity knitting. And I actually was getting ready to start a scarf for that, and I haven't gotten to it. My son wants me to teach him how to knit, which I planned on doing today. I actually planned on doing it the other day, but when we looked at the needles that we had picked out for him, Bear had gotten a hold of them and chewed them and broke the tip on one of them. Puppies, I tell you. And the crazy thing is it was on a bookshelf. They were on a bookshelf, and he jumped up and grabbed them off, which he loves to do. Anyway, so I had to dig out some more needles for him to do, so we're going to do that today, hopefully. Because I wanted to teach him how to knit while we were on break, and today is the last day of break. We go back to school tomorrow, which I am scared to death about, because those kids are going to be crazy. But anyway, so the next segment I'm going to do is going to be, with it being a new year, I usually try to set, like, knitting goals. Last year I picked 9 projects that I wanted to knit, and I actually only knit 1. No, I did 2, because it was more socks, and then the only other one that I knit from it was the harvest cardigan that I knit for Natalie and showed you guys last podcast. So my crafty or sewing goals, I want to get my more project bags made, and I want to get them up in maybe an Etsy shop, or I just want to be able to sell them. I also have a goal to make reusable paper towels. I've made several sets before and actually gave some out as Christmas gifts. But I do want to make more of those, because we use way too many paper towels. And yes, I know it's more laundry, but it's better for the environment. So I have lots of those to make, some for my daughter, some for other family members. But I want to get a bunch of those made up. And I have the fabric for them. I just need to cut them out and sew them. And the other sewing goal that I have is I have several, and by several I can think of probably at least 10 off the top of my head, quilts that I need to make. Some of them are for babies that are close to half a year old. I need to get cracking. I have all the material. I even have the batting. I just need to make them. So those are my sewing goals. My knitting goals. I am joining a challenge that is a 52 dishcloth challenge by Amber of Yarn Hoarder. So she runs this every year, where you make 52 dishcloths for the year, which is one a year. I mean, one a week. Sorry, not one a year. I'd be a really old lady. So I'm wanting to do that, and actually, this dishcloth is my first for that challenge. So I have 51 more to go, and I already have the second one on the needles I showed you earlier. So that's one of the things that I want to do. I want to learn how to knit socks from the toe up to the cuff. I hear it's really easy. I've never done it. A lady in our knitting group does it. That's how she does all of her socks. With that, I need to learn how to do an afterthought heel, which is, I think there's a couple ways to do it. One of the ways, you actually cut your knitting, which is not going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, well, I guess I am going to cut it, but she said that what she does is she puts what's called a lifeline in, which is just a scrap piece of yarn, and it will hold stitches. And that's how she does hers. So I know that there's several afterthought heels that you can do. Honestly, that's like the most nerve-wracking part of my goals that I have. I'm sure once I do it, it'll be fine, but right now the thought of cutting my yarn or cutting my project, no, it scares me. I also want to learn how to brioche knit. I don't even know how to describe brioche to you. I just know that it makes a project like super squishy. You can use 2 different colors. And like one will show, like, say your main color's blue and your other color's white. This side would show blue and this side would show white as your main color. Once I start something, of course, you guys will see it. I'll show you. But yeah, I want to learn how to do that. I tried many years ago with a scarf, and I just kind of lost interest in it. I think that scarf is like buried away in my closet somewhere as an unfinished project, or I may have pulled it all out. It wasn't very long. But anyway, that's one of the things I want to learn. And I have set a goal to finish 102 projects. Now, before you go get your underwear in a wad, 52 of those, just remember, are going to be dishcloths. So really, I only set a goal of finishing 50 projects, which this past year, last year, I finished 44. So really and truly, it's not too much more than what I would be making anyway. And the dishcloths really aren't going to add too much more pressure to me. Because like I said, I've already got one finished. So I want to do that. Speaking of dishcloths, guys, my daughter Natalie has whipped out, I think we figured it up last night, 19 dishcloths since break. We've only been on break for 2 weeks. 19. The child's a machine, man. Machine. Another goal that I have is I am going to make myself a box of socks this year, which is, I have a box, and it will hold 12 pairs of socks. I wanted to do this last year, and I actually did end up making 10 pairs of socks, but I also ended up selling 3 of those pairs. So I only ended up with 7 pairs of socks, 1 a day for a week. So and they're back in my drawer. So this year I'm going to do the 12. I'm not going to, any socks that I make for myself, I'm not going to sell. If somebody wants me to make them a pair of socks, that's a different story, but I'm not going to sell any of mine. So I got this idea for my next challenge from Stacy at Stress Knits podcast. She did a year of Andrea Mallory knitting, where she just knit like 12 items, one a month. And I thought, you know what, that's a really good idea. I could do something like that. So I've decided that I'm going to do a year of Alicia Plummer, because she is one of my favorite designers. I own like half of her patterns. I own a book that has patterns by her in it. I'm test knitting for her. So that is going to be my goal, to, at the end of the year, have 12 Alicia Plummer projects made. They don't have to all be made for myself. I mean, I can make them for others, but I do want to have 12 projects made. I'd like to have 12 for myself. I'm trying to build up my, sorry, the dogs are playing. I'd like to build up my hand knit wardrobe, because right now I only have a hat and scarves and cowls and one shawl that I wear. And actually, I haven't even really worn the shawl outside the house. So I really want to build my wardrobe up. So that is my knitting and sewing goals for this year. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've gotten. I keep forgetting to get the yarn bowl that my uncle made me. So I did get it this time. So I'm going to show that right now. And that is right here. Isn't this gorgeous? This was handmade from, he made this in 2018, and it's from an elm that was on my grandparents' property. I mean, look at that. He even put nice ridges at the bottom so it doesn't, move all over the place. But I love it. It is definitely one of my most prized possessions. So I wanted to show that. And then I have been friends with a group of ladies for, oh my goodness, our kids are going to be turning 15 and we were pregnant with them. So I have been friends with them for almost 16 years. And we do a Christmas swap. And I've only joined in the last 2 years, but this year I got the coolest thing. I mean, I got great gifts last year too, don't get me wrong. But this year I got another yarn bowl that says "Make Your Own Magic." It's got a little grippy on the bottom. I'm so sorry, guys. They're going crazy. And then I got a skein of Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering in Turkish Delight. Sorry for the crinkling. I have not taken it out of the bag. It is gorgeous. I think I'm going to pair this with either a gray or a... Oh my goodness, I forgot what other color. Oh, a green. And make a 2-colored shawl. And then, these are so cute. In this little bag. Sorry, I should have had one of these already out. Is some little llamas. Aren't they the cutest? Little llama stitch markers. Be still. So I have a whole bag of them, which I told her, I was like, I always need those because stitch markers grow legs and walk off. And I'm actually to the point where I have very few stitch markers in my little container that I keep them in because I had so many projects on needles. I'm sorry. I'm addicted. All right. I also have some more I Love This Cotton. And this colorway is Spunky. I also got my my daughter that's making all the dishcloths. I got her 2 skeins of cotton also. We were there, and yeah. Now this I've had, and I think I may have even shown this before, but I forgot to mention that this is one of the things I'm going to cast on here soon. And it is Hippo for Your Birthday by Lolo Did It. Which I love. Lolo Did It. I'm going to cast these on and make myself some birthday socks because my birthday is on Saturday. I won't have them done by my birthday, but they'll be the first pair of socks that go into my box of socks, most likely. And then also, while I was at Hobby Lobby, I got some of this I Love This yarn. And look at these little speckles. Guys, this is going to make some really cute little kid hats that I can give to Charity. Excuse me. So, I'm excited to start that too. And then, I had a much needed day out with one of my girlfriends. And we stopped at one of the yarn shops that I like, called Laughing Sheep Yarn. And she had never been in there. She lives about an hour and a half away from me now. She used to live here in town, and she moved. So we got together and just had a mom's day out, basically. So I got some of this online super sock in this really pretty reds and rust color and gray. Love it. Cannot wait. That will be a pair of socks for myself. And then I got some Cascade Heritage Paints, hand-painted sock yarn that I'm going to make socks for my husband out of. Both of which I had been eyeing the last like 2 or 3 times I walked into the shop. So I went ahead and bought them. I just remembered I also forgot to tell you about a project that I'm going to be casting on here soon. So with my Cozy Memories blanket, it is made out of yarn that was given to me by others and made out of yarn from socks or projects that I knit in sock yarn weight. So I decided that I wanted to start a blanket, and I haven't started it yet, but I wanted to start a blanket made strictly out of sock yarn that I knit with. Nobody else, no mini skeins, just sock yarn that I knit with. So I started collecting all of my sock yarn that I knit with in 2019. So hopefully I will start that and we'll have that to show you guys on my next podcast. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to take me a while because, like I said, I ended up knitting 25 pairs of socks last year. So that means I have 25 skeins of yarn in there to start my blanket with, or leftover skeins, and whatever I add to it this year. And it will be an ongoing project until I decide how big I want it or where I'm going to put it. I might put it on my bed. I might put it on the couch. It might just be a lap blanket. I don't know. But I want to get that started. And I'm pretty sure that is about all that I'm planning to cast on. Not a big deal, right? 102 things I need to make to meet my goal. Anyway, so that is all that I have to show you, and all that I have to talk about. I wanted to get a podcast in because I hadn't done one since a couple days after Christmas, so I wanted to get one in for this well, I guess, so I did miss a week. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys, and I want to thank you for coming by. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, or maybe you've watched a couple times and you still haven't subscribed, I would love it if you'd subscribe, or give me a thumbs up. It helps to make my videos viewable, or more popular, I guess is the word. When people get on and they're watching other videos, sometimes mine has a better chance of popping up on the side as, you might like this, which I found several podcasters that I've started watching that way. So if you like my podcast, please give me a thumbs up, or please become a subscriber. And if I'm not for your cup of tea, then thank you for, sticking around till the end of the video. I hope you find some podcasters that you do like. But I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. I hope your year goes very well. And continue on with your knitting, sewing, needlepoint, whatever crafting you do. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.